This is what's left from a piston out of that mid-90s F700 with a Ford 429 gas in it. We bought it as a Ranwin parked optimistic special. This is what's left of my optimism. Although I do have some hope hidden underneath this tarp, and we'll talk about that today too. The price we paid for this, we pretty much bought it for the bed, the frame, and the cab, because believe it or not, all of this stuff is actually in really good shape. I mean, there's still paint on the frame. Good shape for Southern Indiana, mid-90s truck, I should say. Got no complaints about it. Yep, there's a whole lot of parts in there, but overall. And we were just kind of hopeful that the hood is not included in the good shape part, but I do have a hood tracked down from a fella down in Paducah, Kentucky. I just got to go down there and get it sometime. Here's what we're looking like on the inside. It was a little locked up when we got it, but we just had to put a wrench on the old crank and a little bit of effort. We were able to get her to break free, and she ran for just a short amount of time. This is the hole that the piston came out of. And the old connecting rod here, well, she kind of beat around on that cylinder wall like it owed it a fair amount of money. So I'm not saying we couldn't clean it up and get it to fix a little bit, but I'm guessing. See how these ports are clogged? Probably some stop leak. There's a lot going on inside there. I'm guessing that there's more problems other than just what we see right there. We're gonna go ahead and get this block pulled out the rest of the way, and then we're gonna dig through this one and see if it's any good. This is a junkyard motor. The guy seems super nice. That guy also seems super nice. And then get us a basic parts list so we can get everything coming, and hopefully real soon get that reinstalled in that. That won't be in today's video, but in the near future, because I've got like 3 projects. I need this thing going. 4 projects, 5. Well, step 1, remove the old engine. Okay, cool. Cool. Good news is pretty much everything's pretty much off, but just to make this a tremendous amount easier on everything, we didn't plan on pulling the engine initially, so we left everything up here so I could use the hood for cover. But now that we plan on pulling everything, let's get it out of the way. So I'm just undoing this wiring harness from the truck side. Just unplugged it there, and we've got a little ground we got to undo. Put that screw right back in there so we don't lose it. We got one little bracket here. Wrong size, that's good. I like that everything's different. I'm believing if things were perfect, we were supposed to unattach those hinges down there, but nothing's attached there anymore anyway, so I think it's just the cables, which appear to be pins. You'd think I'd have some sort of system set up to catch this hood when I undo this, but if you've been with the channel for more than 5 minutes, you wouldn't think that at all. Perfect. I will say, it is a mystery to me, probably to save a few bucks, but why they didn't extend that bracket to actually go on the hood, I'll never understand. You open it from there, you're putting all your leverage on this point every time. You spend all the money to reinforce this. Yeah. I'll go ahead and take both these bars off next. Next, we've got this line running for the AC. I don't own the tool to undo or do that. So the next closest connection I can undo myself is right here. There we go. Undo these brackets. If I can get that worked up out of there. Oh yeah. These hinges are hidden. I thought we could just leave the hinges on there, but I think I need to zip those off, lower it down, get those brackets out of the way. I think that's what's holding us up. I bet in this cut sequence we get to see the 755 loader bucket get just a little bit lower each time. I misspoke on a previous episode. I said those cylinders couldn't be rebuilt because that was what a trusted person told me. And I never actually looked for myself, but no, they're right. There is a snap ring on the end of it. Fairly positive we can rebuild those cylinders, which is good because seals are a lot cheaper than new cylinders. Step it up a little bit. See if this that'll do it. Let me get this thing jacked up enough that I can get my cribbing out from underneath it. Okay. You think this is technically the body chassis or the powertrain? Suspension, frame, body, general, climate control, battery charge. Well, that is the radiator. How are you attached? Removal and installation, that's what I'm looking for. Partially drain the cooling system. Check. You know something's always frustrated me with indexes? Radiator, C engine cooling. If you knew I was gonna look under radiator for the radiator, why not just go ahead and give me the number for engine cooling in that same section? Radiator support. Oh yeah, that checks out. All right, here's what we got. These two bolts I'm trying to work out with the impact now. And a nut and bolt assembly. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm working on these two here. They're not wanting to come loose with the impact. And I got great access here. Let's see what happens here. Unbelievable turn of events. Unbelievable. Hot. It's also very hot. Man, my wrench is stuck, but that's fine. So now I got these two and they don't want to do much for me. That's the wrong socket, so hold on. Let's just get a breaker bar and we'll either break the bolts or we won't. You know, that's where I'm at today. Oh, that's a breaking for sure. That's good. That's fine. You know, it's whatever. There we go. Thank you. Okay. There we go. A broken bolt is still a removed bolt. All right. Thank you. Okay. Now let's do some tractor stuff. Let's take it up kind of slow here. Slow as we can anyway. That's looking all right. Just trying to make sure we're not catching or ripping anything we don't need to be. We're okay. All right. We'll go set her down somewhere. And must have been a nest in that rad support because there are a lot of angry winged creatures. Check out this door handle setup. Look at that guy. Oh, easy. He's just waiting for somebody to grab that door handle. It's a good location, I'll give him that. So it does look like there's a big plate right here. Should give us plenty of access to take out the bolts we need to connecting the engine to the transmission. Looks like it might be easiest to drop that oil pan first. and get some really good access here. So let's do that. I think we still have some stuff in there from when we tried to run it the other day. Now we expect to see some water because that was part of the issue anyway. We're gonna see some water come out of this thing for sure. Oh shoot. There we go. How does this come out? Why would they do this? So a few people want to know, what's the oil pan look like now? Because when we first took it off, it was clean, there's nothing in it. Now there's chunks of the backside of the piston. So that piston wasn't all the way broke when we tried to run it that one time. Definitely severely damaged, but not quite all the way. That's cool, that's neat. I like that. All kinds of room for activities under here now. I think I can shoot these right from the front like this, if I got the right size. I don't, but if I did, looky there. If I'm not mistaken, there's two of what I need right off the bat. So we've got the access to the flywheel bolts. We got these two up here on a mount, but then there should be some from the back side. And we got plenty of room on the bottom side to get to those bell housing bolts. We got the old sniper kit set up. May have to round a few other extensions, but we'll see what we find here. There's a fair amount of room to work under here. Why are there wasps in the tunnel? It's like, boom, there's one. Had to do my rear main seal on my GMC 1500. I ended up selling that truck for the engine, but when I did my rear main seal on it, I took my transmission out. Just buy as many extensions as you can. The more extensions, the better. Seems like it takes a little bit of different configuration for every bolt. Here we go. There's another one. So I'm leaving the two on the top. I've decided those will be the easiest to get to. They're right there. And then I do have one that's missing, and I've got one that's broken that the head's gone off of it, but I can feel the, oh, that's just dirt. That's actually dirt. Might be two that are missing. PTO is on this side. My power takeoff for the dump bed, so I don't have quite as much room on the bottom side as I did over there, but I think we'll still be okay. All right, go ahead. I'll tell you when to stop. Just keep going a few times around. It will. Push hard. Super hard. Oh, use all your muscles. There you go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Whoop. A little more. Right there. Yep. Okay. Go a little more. Keep going. Keep going. Right there. Whoop. So those are out. Everything from the bell housing out is out except for two of them on the top. I need to lose this line. I want to go ahead and get the two bolts out of that bracket from the front. Then we'll get a rigging system set up. Probably just use the old head bolts. Give it some support. Take those last two bolts out and see if we can't get it to separate from that transmission. So I got two of them right here. One right there, one right there. That's what holds the front of the engine on. How do I have a bolt on top and a bolt on bottom? Well, let's take stuff off and find out, huh? Yeah, that makes sense. Pry this off, and then there's some secrets below it. Is that threaded all the way through? So those are the nuts for the top side then? All right, then we'll just put a wrench on the top side, I suppose. Okay, grab a wrench. Let me grab a wrench. All right. Oh yes. Front mount, or bushing, just had threaded all the way through. One bolt on one side, one on the other. So that was held in there. Kind of cool, I guess. So in theory, we're gonna take an oil filter off too, so we're not fighting it on the way out. In theory, so this is the bracket off of my engine lift, and I'm just gonna use it because it'll give me a little bit of leveling capabilities. Hopefully the tractor can lift the block. I mean, there's no heads on, there's no intake. If not, we'll go get the bigger engine lift. We've got a bigger one, it's just, let's get a few more things out of the way. We'll go ahead and take the alternator off of here. Sling it over here. All right. That's always what you want to see in your oil filter. That looks good. It's frothy, I like it. I can hear you now. Where are you? In the sidewall? Okay, I'll just hold that and then you guys do that. Okay? I'm gonna take a pry bar, see if I can't get it worked loose a little bit. I don't really want to pull it and break it loose with the tractor, because if I'm missing a bolt somewhere, the tractor will 100% break that. So I kind of want it loose. I just want to be able to lift it out with the tractor. The sink down rate, bleed rate, pretty excessive. That's cool. You can see it as you don't even need the time lapse for it. So all my transmission bolts are out. I double checked that. Or bell housing bolts. Let's try wiggling this thing back and forth a little. Not getting any kind of... There's a little bit of a gap showing up. Well, that's something. I guess let's see if it'll come up some. Fuel lines out of the way. That ground is off. Looks like we got room to come up a little bit. Still got one more ground on that starter. Daggone it. There we got it. A little risky, but here we are. Definitely not a professional by any means, but it's out of there, and the torque converter stayed in there. The bolts we took out from the bottom side, that's what screws into those spots right there on the torque converter. Bolts came from that direction and went into that torque converter. That's what attached it. That's what attaches it to the transmission. And the bell housing bolts were here. This one, no. One of these was missing, and one I thought was broken. I don't think it's broken. I just don't think there's anything in there. Not bad. Probably could have been smoother, but not against it. So what we've got under here, a lot of people suggested a diesel conversion, which would be awesome, and a lot of people have done it, so it's definitely a doable thing, but it's a lot more involved than just what we have to do if we just stick with the gas. So we're sticking with gas, and we've got a mid-90s, early 90s, I believe, Ford 460. The 460 and the 429 share the same block and the same heads, which means we should be able to pop this intake off, put our intake back on it. That way all the wiring and everything like that is the same. At least that's my basic understanding. Story on this rig, just like the truck, it ran in the vehicle that it was parked in. They scrapped the rest of the vehicle and they pulled the engine because the engine was still good. Guy had a whole bunch of these. Looks like building 460s kind of was his hobby. He said if we had any issues to let him know. Super nice fella. I haven't really dug into this engine much, but I would like to pop the valve covers off and maybe roll it on its side, at least take the oil pan off, and let's see what the bottom end of this thing looks like as well. Now, I don't want to just absolutely unload the parts cannon on this truck and get crazy with it. There's a lot of things we could change while the engine is out, but if it doesn't need changed, I don't want to change it. However, there are some things, like the rear main seal, new oil pan gasket, just kind of makes sense. We may take a gander at the water pump, pretty easy time to change out a water pump. Water pumps are pretty inexpensive. There's a couple things that we're gonna change out, which means we're not putting this thing straight back in this today. And the real question is, what does she look like on the inside? Nothing alarming. We did pull a socket and ratchet out while we were there too, and did a few revolutions. She spins, turns over. I mean, there's movement, but there should be, because they're not all supposed to be under compression. I'll pop all the rockers off real quick, pull the rods, make sure the rods are decently straight, and then we can just give each valve a tap too to make sure all the valves are free. So far all the push rods are clear as well. The push rods are, if you don't know, they're hollow. And that's supposed to allow for oil to travel. And those other ones, almost all of them are clogged and full of crap. Just want to make sure the valves are free. None of them are stuck. They all move. And we'll just zip these back on to hold them. We're not torquing anything down right now. We're just in the don't lose it stage. All right, let's see what's in this can of worms. They've got this adapter added to run oil cooler, just like that truck did. But there's a bolt right behind here. I think I can just take that off, and that'll give me the access I need. Is there gonna be enough clearance between the deck and this bolt? No, undoubtedly not. Now I can get it. Right there. Wild. So let's see what we've got here. My dipstick tool is causing some interference there. Well, let's explore in here first, shall we? Well, I don't see anything. It's like panning for gold. I'm gonna grab them. It's a 150,000 mile engine, or 147,000 to be exact. That's what was on the odometer. And I wonder if we can give her some turns in this position. I can see Ford still stamped on the rod caps. Roll it, looking at, I mean, there's a little, but nothing that makes me say. It wouldn't be a terrible time while we have it out to replace, you know, we'll get some plastic gauge and check these rod bearings. Be a pretty easy time to do that, and rod bearings are normally not crazy expensive. 150,000 miles, huh? I can see the cylinder walls. I wish I could show you guys the cylinder walls a little better, but they, I mean, they all look really good. Yeah. So like I was showing, there's a little movement on the rod caps, or on the connecting rods themselves, I guess. I do know that I think we've got a pretty decent engine here. Ran when parked mileage engine is definitely a gamble. With 250 bucks, and he was within, it was a 3-hour round trip to go get it. So for 250 bucks and a little bit of my time, I feel like I'm okay with that gamble. Worst case scenario, we've got 2 very nice boat anchors. You know what I mean? So there we go. We are out with the old problem, and we've got the new solution, and it looks to be in somewhat decent shape. I'm not sure that block's 100% trash. We'll still hold on to it, have them cleaned up, and maybe we can do a fun 460 build in the shop here while everything else is running. Having everything running problem-free kind of seems like an unattainable goal some days, but I do think we're getting close to it. And hopefully everything's good on that end of the operation, but only time will tell, I guess. So be a little patient with me while we get some parts tracked down, and I got to see what's going to cross over, what's not going to cross over, what's going to work for us. So next time you see a video of this, it may be a couple weeks yet, but we still got some awesome stuff coming up, some fun little side excavation projects. And then we're actually going to be doing some work on the road and the area around the plunge pond here real soon as well too. So all that stuff's going to be coming out. If this is your first video with the channel, then welcome. And I hope you guys are liking what you're seeing. And if you've been with us for a while, I'm so glad you're still with us on this journey. I've had people saying that they've been with me since the beginning, like 4 years. 4.5 years, something like that. And that's crazy, and I love it. And I hope we can keep building this thing so more people can tag along for this. It is no denying it. You guys watching, it's the reason that we can take old junk like this and try to give it a little bit of a life again. We're gonna rip those off as soon as she's running anyway, right? Pretty good at destroying sideboards. I do say so myself.